wouldn't work if we planned it, meaning you won't understand it. We have to rings like a Saturn. This feel like splitting an atom. We've gotten bored with the pattern, so now we up and we at 'em. Watch out for my evolution. Around and start a revolution. I am more than a being, I'm an institution. If I gotta reiterate, I swear I'ma lose it. It's my world and I'm generous in that job peruse it. How obnoxious.
EA Sports brings you a special edition of the National Football League for this Thanksgiving matchup. It's the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions, and it comes your way next.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today, our holiday coverage kicks off with a good one here, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. Here's Khalif Raymond to return. Khalif Raymond now. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Flushed out right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll be a loss of only a couple on the sack, but now it'll bring up third down. 3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. They'll let this go deep for St. Brown. They've got his man complete. And they get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They give him a gain of 38.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
On 2nd and 10, Goff. Flush to his right. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
I'm not sure he falls under the category of mobile quarterback, but he's athletic enough that if you don't keep your rush lanes intact, he finds a way to hurt you.
As coaches like to say, I wouldn't call him a burner, but enough there in the tank. On first down, Goff. And that one going to come up short, low throw.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
On 2nd down, here's Goff. Over the middle and taken in by Laporta. And in for the Lions, touchdown. Sam Laporta, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Lions get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's That's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Coming out of Ohio State, one of the top prospects in the NFL draft, and it was so big that they moved up in the draft to get him, to make sure that they had him. And, boys, he got the full package. Loves the game, big-time arm, 4.4 speed, so good that another quarterback prospect said to him, what's it feel like to run 4.4? Everybody wants to be that fast.
They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. They'll go again with Herbert. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. But Charles, this Thanksgiving tradition, so great. I mean, going back essentially through the full century of the NFL, I know you probably have a lot of fond memories of Thanksgiving Day football yourself.
I certainly do.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. 4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Pulled in at the 24. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Lions will take over. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder.
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 56 yards. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One-play drive and into the end zone for 6. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Now motion left with Mooney. Starting on the ground with Herbert. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Now an option play on 2nd down. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage. And now 3rd and 11 coming up. Now it's Fields. And that is incomplete.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get on track in this one.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Taken in at the 22. Found good room to run there. Returns at 14 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone. And man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown! Jared Goff with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Lions have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Badgley on for the extra point. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago. Herbert powering up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It was Charles Harris getting in there behind the line. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. To throw is Fields. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Well, the gap man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. Now here's Trenton Gill on to punt. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. This is taken at about the 14. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
But Charles, they're really stringing these possessions and scores together early. We're still in the first quarter, but if they can score again here, look out.
Yeah, and as you taught me when we're broadcasting games, one word we're supposed to avoid, and that's blowout. But that's exactly what's going on here. Down 3 possessions just the first quarter. That goes beyond any worst-case scenario we might have thought coming into this game. And another touchdown here, that should eliminate any hopes for any type of a comeback.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
They go ahead and snap it. Goff eluding the pressure right. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. So just shy of midfield, they tried it, didn't work out. What did you think?
I thought that they should have punted the ball away. Should have gotten rid of it and played defense with better field position. Look, I'm as aggressive as anyone wanting to go for it on offense, but in this situation,
first half,
I don't know that there's any risk. I mean, what's the reward for your risk here? I would not have done that. My only explanation is this coach, he may want to be up here in the booth with us. We may have a 3-man booth starting next week if he keeps up with those decisions.
And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but When you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to them, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
Here we go.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Fields to throw on 3rd and 1. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Bears' 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Fields. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
On 2nd down, here's the option. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Here's Fields. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Derek Barnes in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. Trenton Gill now, the 7-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense.
He's got him in, complete. A big play there for Detroit. 41 yards.
Well, he worked his way quite a bit in this 1st half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He is such a handful defensively. Just too hard to keep him under wraps. It delivers a big play here.
And this is taken in at the 5. A big play there for Detroit. 46 yards.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this 1st half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Jared Goff. And the Lions are able to widen their lead here in this 1st half. The touchdown all set up by the big play 1 snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? That's what you created with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes the score 28-0. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Still in the 1st half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. In trouble, and he's taken down. There's Charles Harris getting home for the sack. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves them with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. You know, thinking of this Thanksgiving Day game, Charles, for years we've heard the talk. Why don't we open up? Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. That's pulled in at the 32. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. We get a look at Amon-Ra St. Brown as his offense readies for the next drive. Previous series, definitely a focal point. 3 catches, the touchdown grab.
as a DB, or former DB, is there a number of catches on a drive you're like, oh, and this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns.
And the Lions have taken a 5-touchdown lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense.
They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
Out of the gun, Fields.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Aiden Hutchinson.
The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays. Here comes the Bears punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. He'll take it at the 42. 34 yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Goff. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Goff. And this is caught at the 8. And in for the Lions touchdown.
Sam LaPorta.
2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Lions have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Chicago offense set to get started. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
On 2nd down, here's Fields. A quick throw there is incomplete.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
This is taken at the 18. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions getting set for another series here.
He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the second quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables. But, boy, he's getting it done, and in a big way. Right now, he wants to rock on every snap.
Yeah, he's counting his yards in the hundreds, not the tens.
2nd and 10.
Now it's Goff.
He'll let this go deep for St. Brown.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Detroit.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
69 yards.
And the Lions just continue to roll.
As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone.
And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see.
On 1st and 10, it's Herbert.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Now Fields.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Aiden Hutchinson
able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football.
4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill.
Taking it about the 16. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards, and the Lions will take over.
We're going to look at Amon-Ra St. Brown as his offense readies for the next drive.
He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you always want to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all of those things? But the best players show up each and every week, solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again.
He'll let this go deep for St. Brown.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
36 yards.
And the Lions will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Badgley on for the extra point.
And the route is on here in this first half. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. On first down, Fields. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it instead. Here's Fields now on second down. Pressure comes and down he goes. Charles Harris able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, back to you guys in just a moment, but welcome everyone to our Creative Village studios in the EA Sports Halftime Report. In the first half, it was the veteran quarterback Jared Goff who had command of the offense. He had a half for the ages, touchdown pass after touchdown pass. He threw a month's worth of touchdowns in just those first 2 quarters of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
On second down, here's a keeper by the QB. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Here we go.
Here's a give to Herbert. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's second down. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the third quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll happen.
Fields hit and the ball is loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. We talk a lot about setting the tone to start the game. Well, you want to start the tone right in the third quarter as well, and nearly lost a football there in their first drive.
And sometimes we overdo it when we talk about halftime adjustments and what teams are going to do. Most of the time, it's just a minute.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack. Here comes the Bears punter now. He's been terrific so far. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions getting set for another series here. And he is just 1 reception away from 10 in this game. I don't know what they need to do defensively, but something has to be altered, does it not?
I know that whenever we tried to cover a person who's having a game like this, you're trying to vary what you're doing, trying to change things up, hoping to fool him occasionally. If not fool him, fool the quarterback so that maybe he doesn't read the coverage correctly. Right now, though, they're in pretty good sync.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. He'll let this go deep for St. Brown. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40. A big play there for Detroit. 43 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. That is caught by Laporta. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
It's a well-designed play here. 3 wide receivers in the formation. They're all going to run deep routes to put pressure on the safeties. And then they let their tight end cut his route off a little shorter and work toward the middle of the field.
Touchdown! Josh Reynolds from 13 yards out. And the Lions Dolphins extend their lead yet again. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
The decision to keep it turns out to be a good one. 11 yards in the first down. A handoff for Herbert. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Now Fields going to keep it running left. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards that time, and a first down on the keeper. Fields going to keep it once more. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. They'll run here with Herbert. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Well, just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter, I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
A play fake, now Fields to throw. Rolling to his left. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
Here's Fields. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Fields now to throw. And this will be caught by Mooney. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And Detroit back in possession of the football. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I
have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
That sack by Tremaine Edmonds.
No question, that was needed by the defense because they're already trailing by a couple of scores. They had to get off the field without allowing another one. That sack on the first play, that may have derailed this drive.
He'll let this go deep for St. Brown.
It's caught inside the 25. And in for the Lions touchdown.
Amon Ross St. Brown, 79 yards. And the Lions have got it on cruise control.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I've lost track of how many times he's been in the end zone. This is just flat unbelievable.
Doesn't matter whether you have an abacus, a calculator, just old-fashioned pencil and paper trying to total it up. The number is staggering. What a performance. This man knows how to find the end zone and make it count.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So 2nd and 10 now here in the third quarter from Detroit. They'll toss it out right to Herbert.
And this time he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. 3rd and long. It's Fields.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created.
Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. He'll look to set up his blockers. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
That's complete to Laporta.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 36 yards on the play.
And even with the game seemingly in hand, they're continuing to fire away, pressing the ball down the field. Listen, it's worked all day. No reason to go away from it now.
Steps away. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Lions add 6 more to their point total. And they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th.
This is a great decision right here. Out of the pocket to his left, and he knows if he waits too long, the defense is going to be all over him. So he makes a decision to go and wins the race to the pylon.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Bears now ready to take over again. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly,
I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Back to throw. Fields. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And out across midfield down to the 45. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Looking to throw on second down. Fields. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
They're going for it. Here's Herbert.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
So he needed 1. He ended up getting 3.
And I really like the way he ran that one, too. That's really intelligent running because oftentimes a running back can get too greedy. Try and hit the home run on a play where you just need a few yards. Well done there, making sure you got the 1st down and not worrying about trying to get a touchdown.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Here we go. Here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Fields.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line.
John Kaminsky.
It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Time for another look at this Lions offense. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
2nd down and 6 now.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep.
And that is well read there defensively. He was looking to use his speed to get the edge, but they said no way.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. Here's Goff.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They'll let this go deep for St. Brown.
That's caught at the 25. Touchdown.
Ross St. Brown.
77 yards.
And the Lions are pouring it on. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. At the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Bears offense ready to get going again. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. Fields. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Aiden Hutchinson. My goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. Throwing on third down, Fields. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Fielded at the 20. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. To throw is Goff. They'll let this go deep for St. Brown. This is caught inside the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 45 yards.
Even with the big lead here in the 4th, it still bombs away. And frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Tyler Scott now from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back.
Here we go.
They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score.
Right.
Here's Fields. And this is going to be incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Pulled in at the 24. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt.
And out will come the offense as they take over. So here come the Lions now.
Well, CD, you and I do a lot of games together, but it is pretty rare that we do a game of this margin. I mean, this has just been total domination from start until now, and I don't think they're going to take their...
That's caught inside the 20, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, Charles, just impressive in all three phases. Offense, defense, special teams have really done their job, and here the offense doing its part yet again with another score in the fourth quarter.
I know it seems like something we shouldn't do, because the scoreboard does tell it all. But let's set it aside for a moment. This game was absolutely memorable with how they played it. Really terrific effort, really well executed. Congratulations to them.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. John Kaminsky
Able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw.
That is caught, and he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you've mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
To throw is Fields.
And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go. We just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The Bears on the move. They've got another first down.
Here we go.
Again, Fields.
He's going to look deep down the field. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third.
And one last throw here for Fields. He's got his target. That's complete.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
This was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all.
It's like I've been smooth for so long, I'm trying to get rough. Buffing my nails, dog, I'm trying to get